Sorry about the delay. We had a bit of a technical issue, and we've had to change technology to actually get this started. So I'm really sorry if the sound isn't as good as it perhaps should be, because we're having to use the laptop rather and the laptop's microphones. But anyway, hello, how are you doing? Thanks very much for joining us. As you know, I'm Mags Warrington, and we're on the My Country Garden channel. And today is quite an exciting day because I've got some other fellow Scottish garden YouTubers with me, and we're having a bit of a Christmas get together. Note the tinsel in the background. So we have Eli and Kate. Now Kate isn't in the camera on the camera at the moment, but are you going to come and say hello, Kate?
I am here.
Kate's there, and Kate's going to be monitoring the comments. So if you get any questions or any comments that you make, Kate is going to be having a look. Make sure you behave when you're putting comments in, of course. And I'm also joined by Sandra. Her channel is about the garden, and Guy, his channel is On You Grow.
Well done for remembering all
I know. For reminding us.
So we've been trying to do some work together over the past few months, because there's not as many Scottish YouTube channels or certainly content creators in the sort of central belt, really, as there are maybe further down south, when lots of folk down south are able to do lots of collaborations together and whatnot. And we thought it was about time that we got together and started pulling resources and just finding out a bit about what we're all doing, so that we can learn and we can share all that stuff with you guys as well. So we'll probably just be on for about half an hour or so, but the idea is just to have a good old chinwag about things such about gardening, about our plans for our gardens, and also about Christmas, because we are only a few days after Christmas after all. So bit of a chat. If there's anything you're particularly interested in, please let us know, and Kate will give us a nod, and we can answer any questions that you might have. But yeah, hopefully just a good old chat and an enjoyable time for us all.
I love the fact she thinks we know what plans are.
I should say, can you hear us okay? If someone could comment in the comments just to let us know that you can actually hear us, and that you understand my quirky West of Scotland accent as well.
Your West of Scotland accent.
My West of Scotland accent. Because there's West of Scotland and there's West of Scotland. So we've got a nice variety of accents around the table, because we're not all from these here parts.
Oh, I'm further east.
So we've got Muddy Puddles Farmers letting us know that you can hear us fine.
Oh, thanks very much. Thanks very much, and thanks for joining us. So, Guy, you were saying that you're further to the west.
Well, I'm further west, but
you're
I'm
not
originally
from there.
further east, much further.
Are you
east.
much further south as well?
Just a touch. No, not that far off. No.
But you're in that warm.
Yeah, it's like tropical.
Gulf, but yeah.
Tropical part of the west of Scotland.
And what about yourself, Sandra? Where are you from?
I'm originally from just outside Perth, and I now live near Stirling.
Two very nice parts of the world, and because I live nearly, we are at the moment where I am, and that's near Stirling as well. So lovely part of the world. And Eli, you're a little bit further east, aren't you?
I am. So I'm originally from Glasgow, but ran away to the east coast. So we're just south of Edinburgh.
Again, a lovely place to be, and I frequent Edinburgh, particularly during the Fringe. Tom and I are always there.
Where the rest of us leave.
Exactly, exactly. Well, I tell you what, I'll just rent your house. You could swap houses, couldn't we? And we could go there, because we try and fit in between, 5 and 7 shows a day when we're over there. Yeah. Logistical planning, spreadsheets, etc. Yeah. So we're just a few days after Christmas. How were your Christmases, everyone?
Quiet.
Is that the way you like them?
Yes, after the buzz, definitely.
And did you get any nice gardening related Christmas presents?
Well, since you ask, yes. I've been after a rusty garden arch, and I had asked all three of them just to put in because I knew it was quite a big present. And Gracie had her first big wage like this year, sort of thing, and she bought it herself for me.
Oh,
I know. And then Anna got me this amazing. It's like a bag, and it's got pockets and all these different towels and tools and everything.
All right.
All very pretty, like pink and flowery and everything. Really nice.
Cool.
So I was really lucky.
Fantastic. How about you, Guy?
Well, I didn't actually get any gardening related presents. Suppose I got a new camera, so it's for the YouTube
So it's
channel, but it's channel related.
related, yeah.
So by extent, it's kind of related. It's garden related. Yeah, got a new coffee machine. Really excited.
Well, that ties
Really
into the
excited.
YouTube channel and the gardening because you have to have coffee
Of
when you're
course.
doing these things, particularly when it's freezing cold.
And he does always have a coffee.
I do. Yeah, got somewhere to put my excess soil. Always end up in the coffee. Always end up in the coffee. But yeah, no, that was a good Christmas. Quiet this year, very
Yeah.
quiet. So that's good. I like it.
Now, I know someone that might be sitting next to me that had a very interesting Christmas present. Not everybody would see it as being a classic Christmas present.
Oh,
but-
I argue. I think it is.
Oh, yeah.
what was it?
I got a pile of poo.
Yay!
Well, not actually, I didn't like get up and there's a pile of poo in the living room with a bowl, but I got a voucher to pay for manure.
And are you going to go for manure? Are you going to go for compost, topsoil, or a mix?
Well, I'm actually going to go for something that's called farmyard mix. So we're in East Lothian, so just south of Edinburgh. We have a company who are a fantastic supplier of composts and mulches and things, and they do their own mix called farmyard mix. So it's compost and manure and all the kind of good stuff in a mix.
Oh, that sounds
Ready
good,
done for
actually.
you.
And is that perfect for flowers and veg?
Yeah.
Or,
So anything that's a big feeder, anything that's kind of like fruit and flowers, that kind of thing, it's
Perfect.
stunning for them. So we're in the middle of getting the fruit cage sorted, and I've got a couple of raspberry beds, and that's currently filled with that already. So
That sounds great. 'Cause it is quite hard actually getting decent growing medium.
we've been
It's
so
a bit
lucky
of a
with this lot.
minefield out there and so expensive as well.
We came across them by absolute chance. It was at a Cali thing, chatting, and they were there, and they had all the little boxes out, all the different types of compost, so you could see them. So like the stuff
Get
we
your
all
hand
end
in
up,
and feel it and-
you always
yeah.
end up having to serve. So they had all of that right down to this is what we sell. This is compost, mushroom compost. This is manure. So you can actually get in and see them all, how fine it was and what it was like.
So that was the same company that provided the growing medium that we used when we were at the Cali doing our daffodil planting.
No, so
was it
when we were
Melcourt?
doing, it was the Melcourt stuff. when we were
Ah,
doing that.
right,
So,
right.
But
Okay.
these guys were actually there with a stall out front showing all their stuff. So they're local to us,
Excellent.
and they deliver stuff to the plot for me. So I started using their stuff.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed because although they can deliver here, it would cost an awful
Yeah.
lot.
Mm.
So it's a shame we're not all next door to one another and we could get a
Mhm.
bulk delivery.
Yep, absolutely.
See, I think that's what I need to learn about is all the different
Types.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that's where I'm quite clueless, I have to say.
I think it's important, but I think you get away with a lot, to be fair.
Mm.
There's, you can have 10 different types of, general purpose compost, and they'll look completely different. But you will find that you'll probably get okay results with most of them, but you'll then get the exceptional ones that really do well. But you can't go too far with
I think there's a thing as well that especially new gardeners, they get caught up in what type of soil does it have, what type of compost I need. And it's actually not as complicated as we think. There's basically like acidic soil, generally kind of really normal soil are your two things to think about. And very few things need acidic soil. So if you're growing blueberries or maybe hydrangeas, that type of thing,
azaleas and
then they do better with the acidic stuff. But other than that, you don't really have to think about it too much. But you get into the quality of the compost and stuff when you're really going, right, I need to be feeding these and that. But it's not as big a deal as people think.
See, that's the thing, because even when when I first started getting into gardening as well, and like you'd be watching things, and even somebody talking about use mulch, and you're like, what is that? What is that? But
yeah. There's a wee question coming in, I think it's one for Guy.
Is it the onion one?
It's the onion one, yeah.
Yes.
The onion.
Anyone sown? Julie Rose Davidson is saying, has anyone sown varieties of Boxing Day onions? She's in the northeast of England. Yeah.
Right, so I think that's one for me. Yes, I have done my Boxing Day onions yesterday. So I've sown some red imposta. I've sown some Isabel red, which was actually a gift from Mark's allotment plot. Never tried those ones.
They
so
look really interesting, actually.
They do, absolutely. I was meant to have my Bedfordshire champion, but unfortunately they never came through the post. But I got some, and I'm planning to sow them tomorrow. Sure, it's still Boxing Day somewhere, so it's all good. And I've done shallots. I have no idea if shallots are okay to sow on Boxing Day, but close enough.
Someone grown shallots from seed and usually do it from sets.
Apart from Mark, that's the one, the nice shallots, Zebrin, those ones, and I've done them yesterday as well.
Well, the way I think of it is they're alliums, and alliums like coolness.
Yep.
They'll grow on really well with cold temperatures and whatever. So if you could even put in spring onions if you wanted to. In fact, I think Mark did that.
Yeah.
I've done my spring onions in November.
I've done them in the greenhouse.
Yeah.
I think the thing to remember, if you're sowing your onions don't need as hot a temperature to germinate as things like your peppers and tomatoes.
15 degrees is enough.
They're quite happy. They don't need heat. If you've got them in the house, say in a window ledge, whatever, they don't need added heat.
No. Well, see, it's something that I've not mentioned in my video, but everyone seemed to say, bring them in once they germinate, you put them
Get them right out
straight away out.
Yeah.
I don't even do that.
No.
They're in the greenhouse with a propagator lid, and they'll do
Do you know, I'm so impatient though. I'm so impatient. I want to see them, and as soon as you see them, it's like, right, let's just get them.
We all know that it's pretty mild this year, but we all know winter's coming. It's not there yet, so
I don't actually put mine physically out in the garden.
Well, I mean, you probably turn over.
I mean, I've done both. So I've grown onions just in the greenhouse, no heat or lights, and then I've grown them in the house with the lights in the house. And I do find that they came on much faster with the extra light, and they were much stronger plants.
Okay.
But they did fine just out in the greenhouse without the extras as well. It just took a wee bit more. So, yeah.
My wife's on the live, so if you want to convince her that I should.
He doesn't need lights and heat. They'll be fine.
Were you wanting like to say definitely need to get yourself some appropriate, heat mats and lights?
As I say, not as I do.
Did you not work with any lights inside at all?
No, I don't really have the space for that. So I've done that in the greenhouse. I've done a test last January. I got myself some heat mat just off Amazon.
So you've got power in your greenhouse?
I do, yes.
Oh,
I do.
Have you got power in yours?
Yeah.
That's what I was looking up to see if you could get battery operated heat mats, but apparently it's not a thing.
It's quite a lot of power, so
I have seen people rigging stuff up with car batteries.
Yeah, I don't think I would try that.
I think if you don't have any of this kit, germinate stuff in the house, because a lot of the heat is about getting the soil warm to get the seeds going, and then after that, it's like things like onions, you don't really need it. So, and if you're going to be growing peppers and things, you're going to need it if you want to grow them early. But again, I've spent years sowing peppers in the greenhouse, no heat or lights in March.
It's just delaying a bit when you're sowing things.
So when are you going to get your onions sown then?
Probably towards the end of this month. Reason being,
this is still December.
Oh no, end of next month. So it is,
still more holidays.
The idea being, anyone that follows us knows the story of the onions for us. So the year that I got them all going, heat and lights, and they were really going amazing, we ended up with enormous onions. So anytime you wanted to cook, you were doing half or a quarter of onion, and then you had the rest of this onion. So last year I said, that's it. No, we're going to do it later. And that way we'll have small culinary-sized onions, the little things you get from Tesco. However, last year I changed varieties and not a single seed germinated. Not a single one. So I then had to go and get sets and do spring sown sets, and most of them just bolted. So I had an absolute appalling year last year. Kate took glee in laughing at my onions and telling me they were pathetic last year.
Yeah, I didn't have as good a year. Do you know what happened with me this year though? I thought I was being smart. I had 3 beds of onions, different varieties of red and 2 yellow. And I'm a bit of a demon lettuce grower because as well as eating it myself, the chickens and the quail all love lettuce. And so I've always got lettuce on the go. And I put, in between the onions, I put some of the lettuce. And I let the lettuce grow to big, and they sort of knocked the onions over and suffocated them a bit. So I didn't have as good. I thought, you know, you should. It's great to be able to interplant, but the particular, what variety was it? It was one particular variety of lettuces, and they were big. And I thought, look at the size of these lettuces, and I just ignored the fact that they were knocking the onions over, and I got a rotten. I mean, I got onions, but I didn't get as good onions as I had.
The light makes a big difference with onions.
Yeah, it does, but contrary to you, I've actually had really good success with my onions because they were protected from most of the rain. So the one where I didn't have the lettuce, just they're rotted. But the one that were protected, yes, they were a bit smaller, but they've done absolutely fine through that. And
maybe you got your lettuces out before they took over the bed.
Well, I did, yeah, I did, but I was taking every other one out just to give a bit of light. And yes, they were smaller, but the other ones they just had to go in the bin.
That was my problem with red onions last year. I put them too close to the edge of the bed. So we've got massive big raised beds made with sleepers, big heavy bits. And I put the red onions too close to the edge, and it actually sheltered them from the sun, so they were tiny. So, and Guy, do you, when you're working, ever use impatiens when you're working as a plant?
No.
No, okay. So this is going to be for me then.
Yeah.
So is that why you were laughing?
No, I'm just very impatient, but not.
So Layla is asking, and I'm assuming they mean impatiens. Quick gardening question for the ladies: what's the best fertilizer for patients? Asking for Guy's wife, currently surrounded by 900 seed packets.
It's a bit more than that, though, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing impatiens is what you mean. If not, can you shove a wee thing and let us know? They're actually one of Kate's favourite flowers.
Oh, lovely.
So the thing is, for seed sowing, you don't need compost at all. This is one of the big things. So seeds don't need any nutrition whatsoever. What they need is moisture and oxygen. And there's a third thing, I've forgotten what it is now. That moisture and oxygen. But the reason we get so caught up in compost for seed sowing is if you don't sieve your compost and you use like the cheapy B&Q or whatever, it's full of big bits. What happens is that there's lots of gaps, and then the seeds don't get evenly moist and dry out too fast, and that's why you get poor germination. So just get something really nice and fine. It can even be pre-used spent compost. Just keep it moist, and that'll get them germinated. But it's once they become plants, that's when you get into the kind of good compost and things, because it's about feeding them. And impatiens, we've found just really, lots of feed does them fine.
And you want good drainage. I think you don't want them to get wet feet too much.
We grow them in tiny little pots, so it's a lot of feeding. So rather than worrying about the compost, we're constantly just having to make sure they've got feed. And then it's things like your tomato feed, high potash. Anything that's flowering, fruiting, high potash is what you want.
As well, that I put them in a bit of my border that nothing grows, because it doesn't hardly gets any light, and they did amazing. They just flowered amazingly. So definitely going to use them again.
Begonias do well, actually. Sometimes people are a bit sort of hit and miss with begonias, but begonias do well.
Yeah, they do really well for us. We do them in hanging baskets.
Yeah.
I just have to say, I'm so impressed. Kate's answering questions in the comments. So Julie was asking how much light onions need. Yeah, for like growing, and Kate's been right in there with the whole 6 to 8 hours a day. Well done, you listen.
She just kids on, she's not.
It's one of those things you go on about when you're looking at your garden, sun, shade, all that kind of stuff. 6 to 8 hours or more a day is direct sun. That's your sunny spots. So any plants that say they need sunshine or whatever, 6 to 8 hours a day.
So let's focus now on the future. So we're talking about what things that we've done and things we've sown, etc. We're coming to the end of 2025, and it's been for most people, a really spectacular year for growing most things. Certain things have struggled a bit, but we had a great year where warm weather, sunny weather, even up here in the freezing wastelands of Scotland, we have had some nice weather. We don't know what 2026 has got to hold, but we've got to plan and think about what we want to.
Do we really have to?
Well, if you're like me, I sort of plan momentarily, and then 2 weeks into the next growing season, the red mist descends, and I just go mad. But I mean, some people are very good planners, and I don't know, Eli. You strike me as maybe being a very good planner, having your beds, knowing what's going in, knowing what's coming in successionally, etc. The proper way of doing things. Whereas I'm like, grow as much as I can, and then worry about when I'm going to plant them afterwards.
Me too. That's me.
Am I right, or are you a planner?
I start off as a really, really intricate planner. Spreadsheets a go-go. But then usually it gets to the point I'm just like, oh, what am I doing? I didn't buy those seeds, or oh God, I forgot to sow that.
I get total guilt as well, because even if there's the tiniest plant, I can't throw it away. So I just end up with far too much.
Yeah, you'll get over that.
I hope so.
That's the good thing as well when you've got a plot and an allotment, because you can then give them away. You don't feel so guilty. You just shove them on the wall near the clubhouse, and then people pick them. So they go that way. But planning spreadsheet, I can share my spreadsheet with you. I don't even use it myself, so you can have it.
There's a free planning spreadsheet under my planning. You can download that.
Excellent.
It's just that this successional sowing is the difficult one. I find that you get like overwhelmed by all the things growing, and then you think, oh, that's fine, there's plenty, and then you get to that moment where, oh, there's nothing left, you've just harvested, and then you feel like you're behind.
I find the best way, and I'm not great at it, but the way that I found has worked best for me is have a box for each of the months that you're going to be sowing things. And you'll have things like lettuces that some you might sow in January, but you'll know you're going to need to sow them again maybe in March. So once you've sown them in January, you put it into the March box, etc. And that then means when you pick up your box and you look, and this is what I've got to sow this month at some point, and just keep moving them along.
I've got 2 of those boxes now.
Of course, yeah.
Oh, so you have
garden on the plot.
It must be a really exciting time for you then. The blank canvas.
It is, but it's also a bit daunting. So so for anyone that doesn't know, Kate and I have been gardening for many, many years now, but we have just got a plot, our very, very first plot, and it literally is blank. There's nothing, it's just bare ground. And we're in the process of trying to build that into kind of a growing space and getting all the plans going. So I now have a box that's January right through for the plot, one for the garden. And I'm doing the whole, all the things I've always wanted to grow. Oh, when do I have to sow these? And I've already discovered I've missed stuff. So at Christmas, we realised that I had always planned to grow Brussels sprouts, and I forgot to buy seeds. So already I'm.
Oh, I've got some. I can give you some away. That was one of the funny things today. We've all got together, and one of the first things we did was, I've got these seeds, have them. I've got these seeds, have them. I've got these seeds, have them. So I thought I was going to actually offload a load of seeds today, but I've actually come away with more.
Well, I was warned by Eli, like, do not give these seeds.
I've just saw what you're probably laughing at.
That was definitely patience, yeah.
It was patience.
Patience.
Yeah,
and yes, I do need another book. Thanks, Kate.
No. Loofahs. Julie's asking if anyone has grown loofahs in their oven.
Oh, terribly last year.
No, I don't fancy. I mean, I've seen a few folk down south growing them. They seem to take a lot of space.
And a lot of time.
And a lot of time.
I feel like a vine, or
it's sort of, it's quite viney.
Is it?
Yeah, it's quite viney. And then you've got, I mean, what are you going to do with all those loofahs?
Yeah, well, I quite fancy going loofahs. I've tried last year. It's actually.
Maybe this is your challenge for this year, guys.
Oh.
I see, known full well that I'm not growing them.
No, I could. I've had some, but it's not me that grew them. That's Tony, my plot neighbor, and he gave me some plants. But I found that they need like a lot of care when they are tiny, and I didn't give the care that they needed, and they ended up dying. But I think the problem is they start being ready around about October, but they need this sun and this heat that we don't have here. So it's a bit tricky, I think, to get them. For us, I suppose it's a bit like sweet potatoes, that you need this really, really long season that we don't really get.
I see
so
channel after channel in the UK trying to grow sweet potatoes.
Yeah.
even down
You
south,
can,
it's
if you
tricky.
grow them in a polytunnel,
Mhm.
you can grow them and get it in crops. Amy from Gardener Whedon did it, but you need to be growing them under
You need to
cover.
grow them.
I don't actually like sweet potatoes that much that I would want to really try.
See, we eat a lot of sweet potato,
So I
but
don't like them either.
there's no space for them in my greenhouse.
I would love, and I don't know whether I doubt I can up here, but I'd love to be able to grow melons.
Yeah.
Even the little ones.
Mark mentioned midget, something.
Yes.
Yes.
He grew them, he says it worked.
Oh,
Because they're small.
yeah.
Because that's the thing, up here, a lot of it is about size. So we don't have the long enough season to get things to full size and then ripen.
Yeah.
So if we go with smaller varieties of things, smaller plants even, then that's usually the trick for us. So that's why I did the whole thing with the dwarf tomato plants, because you can grow them outdoors in Scotland because they don't take as long a season.
Yeah.
So you usually get a better chance for them.
Excellent.
And I give you a bundle of dwarf plant seeds
Yeah.
today.
I've
So
I'm
noticed that,
definitely going
yes.
to try and do some veggies this year. Well, next year.
Yep, fantastic. So, have we got any major plans then for maybe some landscaping or for new additions to the gardens or the plots?
Oh dear. I'll go for it because it's going to take. How long have we got today?
I think one of my plans is to not have as many pots because my garden is too small, and I just wanted all these different pots, and then I realised it just looked really messy. So
and you end up falling over them, and pots are a lot of work. So
Yeah.
you keep on top of watering them and feeding them.
So definitely going to have less pots.
I saw a question just come in that's maybe for Max for after this.
All right, okay.
Well, let's plans. Obviously, I got the plot in March, late March, early April last year or this year. I've got a greenhouse that's supposed to come there, a really big greenhouse. I'm really looking forward to put there. I'm trying to basically do the whole landscape, the whole layout of the garden this year, and a big fence all around. That's what my plans are.
And when you're talking about landscaping, are you talking about slabs? Are you talking about wood chip? Are you raised beds?
Well, I grow. It's a bit of a no dig, and I know it can be a bit touchy at times. It's not properly no dig, but it's a bit more of a no dig, and I grow straight in the ground. I think slowly but surely I'm getting away from this because although you get more space to grow, it's also a bit more difficult to grow directly in the ground. And I'm used to growing raised planters, so I think I'm probably going to go back to this. But just now it's just like I've got nowhere to sit on the plot. Literally, I have nowhere to sit on it, and you know what I'm talking about. So I've got enough slabs. I'm going to have a wee patio, a wee space to sit and relax. Although I don't tend to sit very much when I'm on the plot, but at least somewhere where I know I can go and sit.
Sit and have a cup of tea.
Exactly, or because just now I feel like I'm going on the plot and all I can do is work on it, and sometimes you just want to go and just enjoy your time.
It's important. You'll probably end up sitting down and then instantly think I should be doing this. But just having that opportunity to
absolutely
draw breath.
And other than that, is just obviously I've got the plot that I took over is like 2 big sections. And there's a path in the middle that I find useless, so I've got to knock that wall. But it's like this concrete edging that has been there for like 50 odd years. So it's a big job to try to get rid of it and rejoin the whole stuff. And I'm just going to create some sections like that. But I think it's probably going to be for next year because there's so much going on. There's too much that needs done, and obviously it's just it's not close to my house. It's probably about 15-20 minutes to get to the plot, so I can't go as much as I would like to. So but slowly but surely, there's no rush anyway, as long as I've got something that that's growing in there and it's looking kind of tidy.
What about you? You've already started your projects, and that your blank canvas is becoming less blank.
Yeah, so we've done the standard thing, so we just put covering down because it's incredibly weedy. So our biggest issue, I know already, the biggest thing we're going to have to deal with this year is dock. And to the point where I sent Guy a photo and I was like, please tell me this isn't dock. And he's like, that's dock. So digging that out, because it's huge, big, thick taproots, we can't even find the bottom of them. But covering everything to just stop anything new coming up while we're getting it going. We're trying to get the beds in place, even though we're not growing and everything yet, but just get the actual shape, the beds in place on the ground, and then we'll uncover them and we'll fill them as we need them. Because you don't want to fill your beds too early, because all the rain and the winter and stuff will just wash all the nutrients out of that lovely compost into the ground, and then you'll come to sow your seeds and it won't be as good as you started.
That's more weeding as well. So
Yeah, so we're doing that. So there's a few bigger projects, but I don't have time frames. So like you, we want to put fencing, because we're in. There's no a traditional allotment usually has some form of proper fencing around it, which is why you hear people talking about getting the keys to their allotment. It's the key to the gate to get in. We don't have that because we're just in farmland, which means everyone, anyone, and everything can get onto our plot. So we're going to try and do a bit of a fence around it. We need to build some compost base to start getting ready for that, because once we start harvesting and things, we'll have leaves and stuff for compost.
Yeah.
We could do a shed, and like Guy says, somewhere to sit, because at the minute there literally is nowhere to sit. So yeah, so we're sitting on some pallets just now every time we want a cup of tea.
There's all sorts of there's all sorts of videos online that show you how to make like coffee tables and chairs and things out of pallets.
We've been watching
Yes.
well, actually, when you just mentioned sitting in the back of my garden ready for the
Oh,
I've got a question for you.
all right.
So Susan Chalmers is asking, she tried pumpkins last year but not got any tips. Now, as we all know, you are the pumpkin queen.
I need to listen here as well.
Oh no.
Give me a bit of history on this one. It is very difficult to grow pumpkins and squash and stuff in Scotland. Again, because we talked about we don't have a long warm season to get them to size and to ripen. Except for Max.
Luck, I don't know. They are very hungry plants. So make sure you have got. Oh, thank you.
Tinsel
Oh,
and all, yeah.
tinsel as well. I did, yeah. This is
Wow.
a Crown Prince. This is Crown Prince, which this is the first year I've grown these, but I've grown. I can't even say it.
You can say
Chicky curry.
A chicken curry. Yes, they're orange, slightly smaller, mostly, and fantastic. Blue Hubbard is another one. They are gigantic. They look like huge monkey nuts.
okay.
But blue, and Turk's turban this year as well. So I don't know. I just make sure that I start them off. I think I'm starting them off in March, and start them off indoors, then get them out into the polytunnel when they're a bit bigger, and then just make sure that it's a very, very rich soil that I put them in.
Farmyard mix would be brilliant.
Yeah, farmyard mix. I'm lucky in that I have got lots of chicken poo because of course I've got the chickens and the quail actually. So I compost my chicken bedding. It's hemp, and that composts quite quickly, and that's full of poo. So I put that in as a base layer usually into the beds, farmyard manure, compost, and then I just grow them on. I have grown them in their own beds, and depending on the size of the plant, they do ramble all over the place. They escape and get into everything. This year I had a Three Sisters bed, and a Three Sisters. It's really three types of plant that are harmonious to one another. So the idea is that you put in corn, sweet corn, so that's quite tall. You will then put in climbing beans, and they will use the sweet corn to grow up the corn, and then you put squash in, and they're on the ground, so they cover the ground, and you don't get as much weeds and such like. Unfortunately, my beans died quite quickly because we had a storm sort of quite early on in the season, and my sweet corn toppled over and ripped the beans out of the soil. But I managed to get the sweet corn back up straight, The squash was neither up nor down, so they just carried on growing. So it ended up a two sisters bed, but it worked out well.
So apart from making sure it's super rich soil, any other tips?
Make sure that it's got enough water. They've got enough water, and I feed regularly. I start with this rich soil, but I do feed regularly. I just use tomato feed or seaweed through the season, and make sure they've got plenty of water. And
do you want me to take that off you now?
Yes, thank you.
It's quite heavy.
And of course, the good thing about winter squash is that they keep really well. So I've got a windowsill. The office windowsill has got about 8 Turk's turban, only 1 butternut. I've not been good with butternut squash, so anyone that wants to help me with growing butternut squash would be lovely.
Funny, Julie just mentioned she grew butternut up her trellis in a sunny spot. Yeah, butternut's one I think here everyone says don't even try. It just doesn't do it in Scotland, but
even germination.
There's a small one. I try and grow the small varieties or the bush varieties. I got one this year, so I'm going to try again. I think I've got, is it Hunter? I need to check the variety, but I'm going to try again this year with butternut. But I'm going to give them their own bed and see if that helps, because they maybe just got overtaken by the crown prince.
Seen actually gardeners. Obviously, I follow a lot of gardeners in France and in Belgium as well, and a lot of them are actually, even in the north of France, which is obviously like south of England, they do grow them in their polytunnel, the butternut, and they've got really good results. Spaghetti squash was great for me this year.
Yeah,
amazing, but butternut, even germination was awful. So I'm not even going to bother.
So I've got spaghetti squash seeds from Guy. So this is how you do it, guys. So we all turned up today, pile of seeds for everyone. There you go. Guy came to visit us and didn't just give me a packet of seeds, he gave me a squash, because then I could cook it and try it and decide if I actually liked it. And if I did, then I could save the seeds. So I've got loads of seeds.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I shall send you some if you want.
Lovely. Yes. So spaghetti squash, how are you cooking?
We roasted it and then broke it all up and all stringy like fake spaghetti, hence its name. And then we served it with a lovely ragu cake I've made.
Nice.
But you can also use them in soup, or like you can actually use that instead of the your chicken noodle soup. You can use those.
Oh, right. Right. That's interesting.
But you can also use it. It obviously goes very mushy. It doesn't roast very well. Like cubed and roasted.
Yeah.
It doesn't really roast very well, but you can use that.
Right.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So what was the name of that squash that you're good at saying?
Spaghetti squash.
No, the other one.
Uchikuri.
Yeah. So Julie Rose Davidson is asking if that will grow up a trellis.
Yes, it will. Yeah.
I'm glad, because we are planning to grow up a trellis.
Oh, right.
So if you said no, then
No, absolutely. They are small enough. Yeah, they are.
Interesting. I had some that were about that size.
Well, they can grow really big as well. See, that's the thing. As much as the squash, you want them to go like the full season and pretty much fall off the vine themselves. I believe the uchikikuri, you can actually harvest them when they're a bit smaller.
I think you can. They're not as sweet at that point. I think.
Yeah.
But even if they are large, if they are, the tendrils and they've got the inclination to grow up, you can support them. Tights, for example.
Yes, we had a very interesting conversation.
That's not one for the live. This one.
Yeah, when we were at Mark's, we all had a very interesting conversation about supporting your squash. It didn't quite make it into the video because I thought I might save that for a little treat for here or something. However, apparently it is the done thing on certain allotment plots in Livingston. Not Livingston, sorry, Linlithgow. Stealing your wife's bras and using them to support the squash. Apparently.
I've not done it, but one of my neighbours was doing it as well.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it's interesting. Walk about and go grass.
Well, it's recycling, reuse, yeah.
It only works if your wife's big enough that they can support squash. So sorry.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was okay. That was in one, and that was the cake was in Mark's polytunnel. As we just had cake going. Oi!
So getting back to planning, I didn't get my
No.
plans and
Mhm.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, not at all. Most of them are quite mundane, reclaiming bits of the garden, because there's still lots of bits of the garden to reclaim. There's still lots of ivy, there's still lots of weeds and brambles and whatever in certain areas of the garden. But hopefully this year will be my year for finally getting my pond in, which I'm quite excited about, because I had a pond in my last place. Unfortunately, have you ever heard the build a pond and they will come,
Yes.
attract frogs, etc.?
Mm.
No, you won't. Not if there's nothing in the vicinity.
Okay.
So in my last place, it was in a sort of new build estate, and nobody else had anything that attracted them. However, we've already seen some frogs up there. It's quite exciting. I go up and check, at night when it's dark, and check the chickens are in the coop and everything's locked up and safe. And at 2 or 3 occasions, I've been walking up and I see something moving, so I've got a torch and I look and it's a frog. Well, I'm assuming it's a frog and not a toad. I can't tell the difference, certainly not in the dark. But yeah, I've seen a few. So they are around, because I think they only need the pond just to spawn, really, don't they? They actually they don't live in the pond.
No.
So I'm hoping if I get a pond, then maybe I'll get some frog spawn. And the only worry is that if the chickens find them, it won't go well. But frogs are good with slugs.
Yes.
So that's what I really want.
Do you know, I actually get frog spawn in my bird bath.
Do you?
Yeah, last year I had it, and then this year, and then also we get those wee lizardy.
The newts.
Get them in my
Right.
garden.
So you just come with a jam jar of frogs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, fantastic.
I'll have to get Ali to do that because I'm too squeamish.
Have we got any more questions?
No, that's it at the minute.
What time we're in? I think we're sort of
We were late start.
we were late starting, so we're sort of on time, which is good.
So now's your chance. If you get in quick with your questions, then go on.
Get them in. We'd love to answer them.
So what do we think then? Recommendations for me. What's the first thing I should really be focusing on then?
You mean as where the plot's concerned, or where plants are
the
concerned?
plot. What would my priorities be?
I think I would say get your layout right. That's the mistake I've done last year. Is obviously I got the keys like early April, and I rushed into growing things, and then I had stuff growing and I couldn't touch the ground or move things about. So if you get the layout right, you will do yourself a big favor.
And that's where different people and the way that they work differs.
Yeah.
Because with me, I would be, have an idea of where you're putting stuff, but get stuff in, because that's what you've got it for. So think about the things that have got a long growing season. If you want to grow them, get the bed wherever you think you're wanting it. And so that's still conforming to the plan if you have that plan. But think about the stuff that's got the long growing season that you'd be disappointed if you didn't actually start now.
Yeah.
But I am, what's the expression? Somebody used to say to me, you bringe in. You bringe in. All right, bringe in. And that just basically means you just don't think and just go for it. And that sort of is me, but that's just my personality.
Yeah.
But where, growing is concerned, think of something that you do want to try this year, but make sure you have enough time to start it and grow it. What about you? Do you get any thoughts on what Eli might have to focus on first?
Nope. I know nothing about plot life.
It's just a big garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just say get growing.
Get growing, get in there, get it done.
I saw you saw the next
Yeah,
one.
well, that's, actually that question came earlier, so sorry, I forgot to mention it. What tomatoes are you planning this year?
Well,
Tomato
you're the one that gave us all the tomatoes.
Okay, so I'm going to stick with growing a lot of my dwarf varieties, which will grow like those, and I'm going to do a couple of indeterminates in the greenhouse. So this way, I've still got a bit of space in the greenhouse, but I can still have fun with doing an indeterminate or two. So we're actually talking about it yesterday, and we're thinking we're going to do one beef steaky type size and one just standard salad tomato size. So the beefsteak we're going to use Marmande because it's one of our
Oh, I've
favourites.
heard.
Do so well in our garden, we really do. We're not sure what the other one's going to be yet. Still have to decide on that.
And the determinants, of course, are the ones that
Indeterminates are
you're
the big tall ones that keep growing. Determinates are ones that are like we call bush variety.
Yeah.
So all
Sorry.
no, I was just saying all the dwarf ones are determinants.
I was just going to say, do you get more on the indeterminate?
So indeterminates, now again, it all depends on your growing area, and we talk about our season in Scotland, and it's not as long here. So indeterminates here, we tend to prune, so we tend to chop the top off when it's about, if it's outdoors, about 4 or 5 trusses. If it's in a greenhouse, 6 or 7,
Right.
because that way you have more chance of getting all of those trusses to size and to ripen. But if we were growing somewhere like Mexico, where tomatoes are living, you could just leave it to grow and it would just keep producing. But it's to do with the season and the weather here. But with determinate varieties, so that's your bush tomato, they give you a big bumper crop almost all at the same time. You just get bang, there's all your tomatoes. And it doesn't then carry on and keep producing that amount again afterwards.
Right.
So people tend to use them for things like sauces because you get so much in such a short period of time. Whereas if you're growing the odd cherry here or the odd tomato there, it's much harder to get enough to make sauces with.
Yeah.
I'm trying San Marzano this year for the first time. That's a good paste
Good luck.
tomato. Well, have you tried and failed?
Yeah, I found they're quite susceptible to blossom end rot.
Oh,
Keep on
right.
top of what
Right.
those ones.
And the good old favourite sun gold, which is just for eating as I wander around the garden because of the sweetest
Yeah,
tomato you
it's a
ever.
sweetie basically.
Oh, they're fantastic. I've grown them outside as well.
Okay.
Just somewhere sheltered and sunny, and it's great.
Do you ever do any of the kind of wacky varieties?
Not usually, but now that I've got the polytunnel, I have now. I can't even remember the varieties that I've bought. I've got one. It's not atomic. It's not Brad's atomic grape, but it's.
I think you do now.
Oh, I've got Brad's atomic grape too.
I can't remember who I
Yay.
gave them to, but I gave both of you guys some of where Brad's atomic grape comes from.
Right.
From the farms, I gave you guys some of theirs.
Ah, very
And
good.
one of you got to pack up some pesto seeds as well for my
Right.
else growing here.
Ah, super. I've got a few micro tomatoes to try, and I don't know. I think I maybe saw some in the seeds you gave me too. So my plan is to have maybe 6 or 7 indeterminates growing in the polytunnel, then some of the bush varieties in front, but leaving space for some basil and sweet peppers and such like, and then try some of the micros outdoors as well.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
gave
the
you
plan.
some micros because I thought I can grow on my window ledge or whatever. Do you
Yeah,
will?
that would be cool.
Who's that? Karen Moore got quail.
Oh, did you? Oh, fantastic! Oh, that's great news. Caternix quail. How many? What colours? Male, females? Tell us more.
Mag's just introduced us to her quail.
And the 2 boys, I have 2 boys, each with their own girls, and the boys are called Sid Little and Eddie Large.
Who grows chilies?
I did last year, and I've got a freezer full of chilies, and I hardly ever use them.
So best chilies to grow for chili powder.
Cayenne, I think. They're great.
Any others?
I don't grow them, but yeah, I would say cayenne is probably your best shot.
Anaheim.
Anaheim. Yeah.
Anaheim are good. There's a lovely lady over in the States, Robin from Robin Gardens, and she is just, I mean, she grows them outside because of the weather, and the Anaheim I got because I saw her growing them, and they're great, really easy to grow.
So we grew chilies way back when we first started. Didn't know anything about it, so it was all just the ones that were funky colours and looked cool. So we grew one called razzmatazz. Tiny little plants, tiny little chilies, but they were all different colours. There was reds and yellows and almost a black, and so, but little small ones all over the plant, and it looked like fairy lights. It was brilliant.
Nice.
And they were hot as hell.
The thing to bear in mind with chilies is that the hotter they are, the longer
it
they
takes
take to germinate and to grow. So, but I'm not into hot chilies at all. I just went a bit mad last year. That's what I mean about the red mist descending.
Yeah, see, while I would grow them for like the super hot one, but that's why obviously I fail every year, is because we don't have a
Yeah,
season
you
for
need
it.
to start them super early indoors.
Yeah, like next week.
No, yeah.
I was going to say last week. but-
Yeah.
Right. Main crop tatties for containers?
Yes, absolutely. Doddle, Picasso, Manitou, my favourites. Picasso and Manitou.
We haven't done it in a long time, but we used to grow them in tatty bags in the garden, and we like the Aran varieties.
Oh, right.
Aran Piper, they
Aran
just
Pilot
did
and all that.
fabulous. Yeah.
And this might be the ideal opportunity to mention the single seed potato challenge. Anyone that's familiar with my channel knows that every year I've participated in a challenge set by Steve House from the Digwell Greenfingers channel. He gives out a single seed potato to everybody that's taking part, and you've got to see the yield that you get from one seed potato. This year, I was okay. I think it was about £30 of potatoes I got from a single
That's
seed.
not bad.
Last year, I got £55, and I was only fourth. I didn't even win.
I'm guessing you chop the seed potato up. Yeah.
You do. You get find out where the eyes are, and you just chop it up so that, I think originally, like 2 years ago, I had about 7 eyes, put them in little pots, grew them on, and then sometimes you'd find you get a couple of plants coming out, take cuttings. I ended up with about 11, and then each of those went into a 30-litre pot, and fantastic. So it's amazing how
Well,
much you
I've
get.
never done that. I've never joined in, but now I'm thinking,
It's shocking how many potatoes you get. And as I said, if you get a good variety, and it usually is a good variety that Steve will organise, amazing. And I've discovered that Picasso I love, but it's been taken over by Manitou, and I've only got about 3 seed potatoes up in the attic at the moment. I haven't sourced any more for this year coming, although I will try. They are fantastic. They're a red skin potato, fantastic for everything: boiling, chipping, mashing, baking.
everything.
Yeah.
So Mags is agreeing with me. She's an Aaron Piper fan,
Ah,
and she grows them in pots.
yeah, definitely. And it's the best fun ever, harvesting from pots. And it means
It's just
that,
much easier.
definitely.
No digging up and no risk of spearing them with a fork.
Get some potatoes in this year.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Do you know what? You don't even need to buy the fancy tatty bags for growing in. Do you know the big Tesco bag for life thing?
Yeah,
Just in
yeah. Or a compost sack.
Yeah,
Just make sure there's loads of holes in it for
Yeah.
drainage.
sounds good.
Oh yeah. So you asked about the quail. I'm never going to be able to say this.
Caturnix. Caturnix, that's what I have. Yep,
There
yep.
you go.
Fantastic. Well, I wish you all the best with those, and if you get any questions, you know where I am and you can just ask. I'm never averse to having a conversation or answering questions about quail, or of course my chickens. They're not getting much of a look in today, but we were up visiting them when we went up the garden, so
Kate thought they were very pretty. I think that was the shock. Kate, they weren't just normal chickens. Pretty chickens.
I can believe the size of them.
yeah, some of them are.
I just imagine
Fairly
them would
hefty.
be like a lot smaller, but
It's when they came running. I was like, oh, I have no feet.
Yeah, they are little dinosaurs, and they're hysterical sometimes.
Right, let's have a bit of fun with something because the comments have gone a bit quiet in terms of questions. So, Kate, do you have a question for the gang?
don't put me on the
I know,
spot. Give me a chance to think of them.
Okay, think of a question. Oh no, if she thinks about it, it's going to be something difficult.
Right, have you got a question for us then, since you started this?
What would you not grow again?
Cucamelons.
Yes, I'm with you on that one.
Cucamelons. No.
It's a difficult one.
And purple sprouting broccoli. Maybe controversial.
Oh, well,
Maybe
No,
controversial.
don't say that, don't say
Purple
that.
sprouting broccoli take forever, ever. And then you take your eye off the prize and they've blown before you get the chance to harvest them. So yeah,
I've eaten broccoli.
Calabrese is just the best.
Yes.
Calabrese, you get such a, you know, you go out and you're like, look at the size of this, you know, that is fantastic, and it freezes well at all sorts. But nah, purple sprout, I like eating it, but I'm not going to grow it.
I have to prove you wrong now.
Yes.
I would have said cauliflower, but recently Ali from
My Rusty Garden, yes.
mentioned about the sprouting cauliflower.
Oh yeah, I did that last year.
Never heard of that, so I'm definitely going to try it.
I did it in the green stalks last year. We only got one harvest from it because that was then when the heat hit.
Okay.
And I wasn't very good at watering it, and it died basically. But the one harvest I got was really cool.
I got a great harvest of cauliflower this year. And it's exceptional rather than the rule. There's a variety called Skipper, and it's meant to be a more compact one for growing in like these beds and whatever, although it did seem quite bulky to me. And I got the videos, there's a couple of videos when I'm harvesting them, and I was like a Cheshire cat. I was like, look, Tom was out with me, and I was like, I think I'll just look and see this. I think I'll look, and I went, look, it's a real cauliflower.
Well, full disclaimer, I suppose that the only one of
I'm going to get them in. I'm going to get them sown shortly, actually, to try.
Really close to success. It just you get this, and I think that's Mark was mentioning when you think that they are almost ready to harvest them, because then the next day they'll be gone. But that's been my issue is growing them. They're tiny, and you think leave them a bit longer, and then they'll just go brown and all over the place. And I'm sure they're fine to eat, but they look. They don't look too good, so.
Oh, see, I want to harvest one and have that big cauliflower with the leaves. And
that's always been my dream, but it's not happening. So I think I'm at that point where I'm like, chuck it.
Do any of you guys have a favourite variety of cauliflower that you could recommend to us? I mean, I tried the Romanesco one. The one that's got the pointed.
Yeah, I've got those seeds.
I didn't have any success with that, but I'm sorely tempted to try again.
Mark kind of put me off. He was just like, no, it's just too much hassle. Okay, here's one from Layla then. Where did your love of gardening come from?
From my perspective, it's quite an interesting one, I think, because I was born and brought up in a tenement in Glasgow. No garden. And then my next house, as we moved, again was a tenement, no garden. Then another tenement, my first flat that I bought was a tenement, no garden. And
we're basically the same person.
Yeah, and there was no one in my family that was, I could go and visit and they taught me gardening or whatever. But for some reason, I always loved outdoors, even if it was opening a window and looking out. I just loved, or as a kid playing out the back, which was this sort of back court that was a scrappy,
the shared space for drying the laundry.
Yeah.
And the neighbours complained if you played in it.
Yeah. Well, no, ours was so horrendous that if you played in it, it was at your own risk. But so for you, I hit 40 and all of a sudden, I don't know, there was a mindset change. And I was very much, and I was always into animals, and I had horses, and I was into that, whatever. So it was.
You had horses in a tenement?
No, that was after the tenement.
Tiny ones.
Just a very small one.
Alabama one.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I don't know. It seemed like I loved playing in the dirt as a child. So playing in the dirt, but doing something constructive. And I started very slow, and it was just plant. I was really into plants. I was into growing perennials, and then gradually, as the better the gardens that I got in the houses that I moved to, gave me more and more interest and more of a challenge. But where veg and growing my own food's concerned, that's relatively new. That's probably 10, 15 years. So I'm not a dyed-in-the-wool, I've done it all my life type gardener, but it's just the buzz, the kick you get out of growing things and the challenge. And I was talking earlier about how I love when my friends and my relatives come out and they say, right, what have you got for us? And I say, I've got this, I've got that, would you like? And I just, love it. I suppose it's the good life. It's the good life that I'm living now. Have anyone seen that sitcom, The Good Life?
When you get the goat.
well. I was talking about that yesterday. Sadly, I've not got enough space for a boat, but if I did have, you could bet your bottom dollar I would have. But yeah, so that's me. What about you? Because you're also...
I'm pretty much exactly the same story.
Yeah.
Grew up in tenements, never had gardens. Working class family in Glasgow, you didn't garden. That was a waste of time. You should be working.
Yep.
Don't know why. I mean, we did try and answer this before. I have no idea why suddenly I got obsessed with growing veggies and fruit. Just random thing happened. We decided, I was in Glasgow, Kate was in Edinburgh, we were going to move in together, so looking for a house, and we knew we wanted outdoor space. Because there's nothing worse. In your lovely summer, you want to go out, you have to go to the local park. By the time you get there, you need a pee, you have to come home, go to the loo, you can't just go and have a cup or whatever, so we wanted the outdoor space. But somehow, along that journey, I just decided I was going to grow veggies. I have no idea where it came from. But it is that absolute joy when you harvest. It's just such a buzz. And I love putting a plate down, putting a meal down. It's like, you know, how much of that's from the garden that we've grown.
Here's my soup, and the leek's mine, the potatoes are mine, the carrots are mine, the tarragon's mine, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's just, it's brilliant.
And your veggies are award-winning veggies.
This year, because I was a beginner. Next year, maybe not.
What about you guys?
Well, to be honest, I had a few health scares and bereavements, and for some reason I started going out in the garden just for a wander, and I just found it really therapeutic, and then just started dabbling, and that's only about 4 years ago.
You've struck a chord though, because gardening for mental health, the benefits are phenomenal.
Definitely. I love it.
We've certainly come on great guns then in 4 years.
You have.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you.
Guy?
Well, it's actually always been in me. I've had my first vegetable garden, I was 3 years old. So literally doing that all my life, you know. So yes, my grandfather mostly was a great gardener. He, back in the late 60s, early 70s, he imported a lot of fuchsia, which was always a big thing in here, but not so much on the continent. He imported a lot of them in France and in Belgium. Wrote a couple of books as well about them, like the first ever book in French about fuchsia is actually my grandfather.
And do you grow fuchsia?
Well, I do have a few, but I don't have that green finger from him, unfortunately. So, and for some reason, I've always been more interested in the veg, and the eating part than the growing flowers. And when I was my father was always very protective of his garden. I wasn't able to play ball or anything like that. You know, it was just like so many nice flowers. And I've asked to get a corner of the garden to do some growing. I think the first thing that I grew was actually a peony, which I stole from one of my neighbor's garden. Just a bit that pulled out of the ground, and it's still growing in my mom's garden.
Thing, you took
I just took a cutting. And it's still growing in my mom's garden actually. But I started growing carrots, and then I've done some parsley, and then just bits and pieces like that. It's just it's always
What's the culture like in Belgium?
Oh, a lot of.
Because it's like you always hear about like France and Italy and stuff when they go shopping. They're always buying fresh produce. And things. Is it the same?
That was a real big cultural shock when I moved here 15 odd years ago, seeing the aisles of supermarket where it's like all ready meal and all that. It's getting there, unfortunately, on the continent as well, but it's always been a lot about like cooking from scratch. So it's always been like cooking from scratch. And oh my goodness,
we're running out of power.
Sorry,
I think I'll need to move into the
okay, give it a plug. Where is the
technology? Just at the back of that light.
But so that's it. That's always been, it's really always been in me, and it's just obviously as I got into my teenagers here, I suppose I kind of gave up. And when I moved in here, obviously I had a like a small garden at first, and we moved into another house with a slightly bigger garden. And I've pretty much just the first thing that I've done in the garden actually is setting up a 4-bed, like 1 meter by 1 meter vegetable garden. And
And does your family appreciate that? Then do they really enjoy the fresh veg from it?
It can be a bit pickish, but yeah, well, I tend to grow stuff that they like as well. Obviously, but yeah, the peas are always, it's always the thing. I've got the peas in the garden. Not a single one of them have made it to the kitchen. Kids go out and play, and they just eat them off the pod like that. And I go and mow the grass. It's just like people's all over the place.
Yeah.
Carrots, same thing as well. Just like things that I grow, and that's even more now that I've got the plot. Things I grow in the garden is just purely things that kids eat when they are playing about.
Well, that's good, isn't it? Because it gets them interested and encouraged to eat the veg, definitely.
Okay, I've got a couple of questions I actually got on my channel when I said I was coming here. So, which flowers self-seed the best in your garden? The best?
I don't know. Well, is that flower? Plant. Runner and calendula for me, I think.
Okay, calendula you're not going to complain about it.
No, I love them.
Poppies?
Poppies,
Poppies.
Do great guns, I think. Calendula, yes.
Oh, Nicotiana or Nicotiana, I don't know how people say that.
With mine, it's Biden's. They go everywhere.
Oh, right, okay.
Which is not bad because I love them so much. But when they're coming up, they look like tomato seedlings. So the amount of times we're like, do we weed that? Do we not?
So what's the flowers like in those?
They're like little daisy-like flowers.
Oh,
so
nice.
if you grow them from seed, you only get yellow.
Right.
But if you buy them as little plug plants, whatever, you get all sorts. So my favourites are two-tone. They're usually yellow and orange or yellow and red or whatever.
And if you took the seeds from them, would they just regress back to yellow again?
Well, I've actually found, and you've all got seeds, the last 3 or 4 years I've been collecting seeds from the multicoloured ones, and I've been getting some multicoloured back. So there's been quite a few just yellow, but I'm getting some multicoloured back. So it is you just go for it and see. So your packets I gave you all say the colours of the flower I took them from. Doesn't mean that's what you'll get, but hopefully you'll get some. But also, just to warn you, Bidens also get called tickweed because they're incredibly spiky and barbed little seeds. So once they get you, they stick. So if you go near them, you'll be covered in the seeds, but they're really, really sharp, so be careful. What about you? Sell seeders in your garden?
I don't see. That's the thing.
You're going to say tatties, aren't you?
I'm really bad at that. I actually go and collect them before they get to seed. So I don't actually have much that self-seeds in the garden. I tend to pick them and then just put them back myself. So I would say probably Californian poppies is one that just start growing all over the place.
Kate's a big poppy fan.
No, poppies.
Oh, I've got some seeds for you then, Kate.
I picked some actually in the box.
The other question I got was, how do you battle pests? I suppose it depends on which pest it is.
Flamethrower? No.
Yes. Sell the house and move.
Slugs I go out every single day until I get that burnout. But every single day I go out and get them and scoop them, put them over the fence to the waste ground, but they still come back.
By waste ground, you mean the neighbours?
No, you've got a camera.
I think you've got to try lots of things. I mean, where slugs and snails are concerned, one method just doesn't do it. So yeah, picking off, absolutely. Yeah. And again, particularly if you've had a couple of glasses of wine of an evening and then you go out with a torch, it's quite good fun. I don't know, I seem to enjoy it more.
Oh, you're weird.
I am. But and then just get a plant pot and put them in then discard. But
I found the slug traps, the beer traps,
they work. They're just a bit
horrible. Yeah,
and I've emptied mine.
But
frogs.
You know, frogs. Well, that's what I'm hoping. Ducks was the other one, but I don't think I'm allowed ducks.
No.
I get lily beetles as well.
Yeah. Oh, do you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Rosemary beetles.
Oh.
No, have them. I don't think.
Because when we moved in, there was nothing. There was no garden. It'd all just been. monoblocked or bricked off, whatever you want to call it. So for the first few years, we didn't get any pests at all. But I have noticed over the last maybe 3 or 4 years, they're really starting to. So we've got flea beetle now, we've got shield bugs, or you might know them as stink bugs, but slugs and snails. Snails are a nightmare in our garden. Yeah, things just seem to be starting to find us now. And the most recent one is a squirrel has discovered that I grow bulbs.
Never good, never good.
Do you know the
The other year I planted over 1,000 bulbs and we hardly got any because the squirrel had most.
That's so disheartening. The first time I saw one of those, the lily beetles, I actually was like, oh, look, that's a funny ladybird. But I realised.
Well, I have actually had that, because we all have like international audiences. So in the UK, we do have ladybugs that are black and yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the panic when I showed one, because in the States, I think it's a courgette beetle or something that's really bad for one, and they all panicked that. So it's like, no, we have yellow and black ladybirds here.
That's new information. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's got a stupid name. It's something like 13 spot ladybird or something.
I didn't see many ladybirds this year.
We've seen loads this year. We don't normally see many.
I didn't really.
Probably because we had so many aphids this year.
I wonder if the chickens eat them. The young ones,
Maybe.
Especially because they're bright.
Well, the larvae, they would be more inclined to get them,
right.
But then red, they are attracted to red as well. But I would have thought they might have flown away if chicken was about to get them. But slugs and snails are my usual, and then aphids and things like that. A black fly on your spouts and things like that. And it's a case of just trying to encourage, do companion planting and plant things that are going to deter the pests.
Or attract them instead of
or have sacrificial plants, of course. As well as doing the whole, the myriad of things you can do to try and get rid of slugs and snails.
I found the sacrificial one worked a treat in my greenhouse. So about 4 or 5 years ago, my neighbor got their garden done and they built like a double fence. And since then, it's been awful with the slugs because obviously they just love being in between the two and can't really get them. And it's been obviously my greenhouse is right against, so they're straight away in there. But I've found this year especially that keeping a few plants that you always have some neglected one, rather than discarding them, I put them on the lower shelves, and there's the sacrificial one, and it's really helped me this year to not lower the population obviously, but just distract them from the good plants because they will go for the rubbish one first. Obviously, that's what they are attracted by. So.
We actually discovered last night either a slug or a snail has come into the house. Just as we were going to bed, Kate was like, "Oh, it's silver slug trail in the hall." Never found it.
I get them all the time. Cat food. They love cat food, so I get them all the time.
Ah, right.
Get them all the time and reunite.
I was going to say also a pest is I get cats coming in and using the border as a toilet. And the way I deal with that is I just give them a wee snack and just pet them and
Nico!
I did mention Nico to Kate. I was like, it's her cat, it's a neighbour's cat.
He lives away across the way, but apparently he's at every house in the street and he's always on the community page. Someone's always asking, like, about this stray cat. Honestly, he's such a wee moocher.
Getting treats at every house.
And he's the only cat that I've ever heard that actually goes meow, meow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is your cat an indoor cat then?
I've got two, Bear and Buddy. So yeah, they're indoor cats.
All right, so they're not going to clash.
No, and that's the thing, because when it's really cold, sometimes Nico will be trying to get in, but if ever he's seen Bear, he just hisses at him, so can't have that.
Okay, we'll go for it then for one more question.
Kate, did you think of a question?
No, I didn't.
Anyone get any burning questions for anyone else? This is your chance to put your question to the YouTube one.
I'm seeing one that I don't think we've covered. What's the biggest lesson gardening has taught you that you didn't expect?
Oh, that's a very
really
philosophical one.
Don't have any answer, but there you go.
So one thing that gardening has taught me
that you didn't expect.
That I didn't expect. That's when you need to mull over.
It's all right to fail.
Mhm. Yeah.
Patience.
Patience, yeah, definitely.
I think for me it was that it's okay when plants die or you don't get the big harvest you were expecting, whatever. As much as we think we're controlling things and determining what's going on, you're really not, and you have to accept that.
Nature will prevail.
So I mean, this year the heat and the dry spell we had was unprecedented. You know, it's like this is what's happening. You know, we're trying to relearn how to garden with the changes in our weather and stuff.
To try and enjoy what's in flower now, because I know that I'm really bad for like I'm waiting on something flowering, and then the minute it does, I'm waiting on the next thing. Like I just can't enjoy
You're
that.
chasing that excitement.
Yeah. So just to try and enjoy what's actually in the garden.
Or even just enjoy the foliage. It doesn't have to flower to be amazing. Especially when winter can be quite bleak. If you've got lots of evergreen stuff in your garden, it's the foliage. If you go for like variegated foliage, it's still really, really beautiful and interesting.
Yeah, but I don't actually have many winter flowering, but I've got a lot of evergreen, and it's sufficient to bring a bit of a boost in the garden. Yeah, definitely.
I suppose for me, it's I knew that it would. I potentially would be passionate about it, but I didn't realise how all-encompassing it would become for me. Maybe not for everybody, but I sort of eat, sleep, and dream about the garden.
Yes.
It's just become such an obsession with me, but in a good way. I hope there's a lot worse things that you could be you could be worried about or obsessing about. I think that. And it just played into my love of the outdoors from wherever that came from, just being out there, but just, always thinking about how I can make things better, how I can do things differently, what am I going to grow, what am I going to harvest, how's this going to work. It's great. I think it's fantastic for your mental health. And for me, it's an obsession.
It's funny as well because you can only come into my salon and get your hair done if you talk about plants as well. Because that's all I talk about. Honestly, some of them must be like, oh my God.
I
think if there's any big whoppers.
Taking a step back, I think it's obviously it's all about that succession. All it's now like it's just living the moment, but also thinking about the future and taking a step back from it and thinking like almost like a month or two ahead. It's just, and again, you can't really control the weather and you can control what's happening. And it's, I think taking a step back for me has been something that I really learned while gardening.
And of course, we've all got a byproduct of our gardening,
of course,
and that's our channels. So that has fed another obsession.
Created a new one.
A really expensive one.
Oh, expensive one, yeah. The obsession in this is real. It's real. It's good fun. It's good fun and get to meet some lovely people as well. So.
Absolutely.
I think that's maybe one of the big pieces of advice is the internet is fabulous and we've got people doing YouTube channels from all over the world and you get to see amazing stuff. But let's be honest, our grandparents gardening would never have got to see any of this stuff or hear about this stuff. But don't forget real gardeners in the real world around you, because there's nothing better than actually meeting gardeners and getting to chat in real time and see each other's gardens in real time and learn that.
Oh, I've learned so much more from YouTube gardeners than watching Gardener's World or things like that. It's just like the real world.
I'm maybe a bit controversial in that I don't watch Gardener's World now. I don't watch Beach Grove Garden.
I don't watch that anymore.
I can't focus. I'm much more, and I think it's probably a byproduct of just social media and attention span, whatever. I'd much rather look up things on YouTube or do things myself. I was always saying, I said I had horses and I competed the horses, except I would much rather be out there doing it than watching show jumping on television or whatever. And I'm the same with gardening. I want to get my hands dirty. I want to do it rather than just sit and watch. I don't have the focus, I don't think, for just sitting watching these programs. I have in the past, and I love Carol Klein. And I've been to see her. She's done some shows around. But yeah, much happier just using, me determining what I want to see. If I want to see something about growing delphiniums or
Yeah.
peas or whatever.
Yeah, it's on demand.
Mm.
But also be aware that not all advice on the internet is good advice.
Absolutely.
Just because you watch Muppets like us gardening doesn't mean we know what we're doing.
Yeah, do you know, because I had super petunias, and then someone had put a comment because I'd said, oh, these are amazing because you don't have to deadhead, which you don't. But then someone had said, oh, that's really good to know that I don't have to deadhead my petunias. And I was like, no, you do. That's super petunias, you don't have to dead. I was like, oh God, the plant's going to die.
And it's all your fault.
We get 2 flowers and then no
I
more.
don't think they comment anymore.
And the super juniors, are you able to get seeds from them? And
No,
No.
they're sterile. That's why you get so many flowers because they're always trying to seed.
right,
Um,
and they can't
produce
use
seeds
seeds.
and they
Got
can't.
you.
Yeah.
And are
They're
they
fabulous.
annuals?
Yeah.
Oh.
Although I've still got one that's still alive, so hopefully it's going to come through. But then we've not had
Yeah, we'll see about
proper
that.
frost, but we'll see. But I love them. Like one plant can, it's massive.
Yeah. It was pink ones, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. Right, I think we're coming to the end now. We've been prattling on for a long time. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. We'll hopefully do it again. I think it's worked.
Next time
Well,
we'll
maybe
check.
we'll have the technology, we'll have that beaten into shape.
Well, to be fair, today was a bit of a last minute. We hadn't
It was a
planned
bit.
this.
It was a bit.
The test worked, but for some reason,
Yeah. But look, thanks very, very much for joining us, and we will see you again very soon. If you haven't been to any of our channels, or there's one channel you've not visited before, please pay them a visit. On You Grow, About the Garden, My Country Garden, Eli and Kate, and you can see all sorts of stuff happening on those channels.
Happy?
Yeah.
See you, folks.
Thank you.
Bye for now,
Bye.
folks. Bye.
I'm closest, I'll reach.
Thank you very much.